Today we're going to make a little Christmas frog, and I'll show you the materials that we need to do that. We're going to need a square of plastic canvas, and it's going to be cut 10 squares by 10 squares, or actually it's going to be 9 by 9, and it's 10 lines. So you can see from the plastic canvas, we're just going to count 10 lines, and then we're going to just cut it across. We need to have a yarn needle and a pair of scissors. We also need to have some pom-poms, a small one and a medium-sized one, and a couple of eyes that are going to go on the top. We need some green yarn for the body and some red yarn for the rest, and then at the very end we're going to make a little tag. Okay, great. And once we do that, our next step is to just go ahead and cut it in the shape of a square. If you cut 10 lines, that's fine. If you cut 9 lines, that's fine too. Either way, as long as it's going to be the same both ways, so it should come out as a square like this. You can trim any edges that you have, like so. Okay, go ahead and cut 3 of these. Once you finish cutting those, make sure you go ahead and trim these edges as well, being very careful not to cut into this line. When you get to the end of the row, when you get ready to start on the next row, the only important thing to remember is now you're going to be coming in this way, and we're going to go back the opposite way. And in this way, we're not going to risk pulling out our yarn from the line above. Okay, go ahead and do that. And once you're through with this row, you just keep on going in a similar way until you're all finished with this piece of plastic canvas. Then do exactly the same thing for these remaining 2 pieces. And after that, we'll check in. Okay, so once we have all 3 of our pieces, 1, 2, 3, then the next step is to put them together. So we're going to be sewing the sides, you'll see in just a second. Okay? You put them together. This is one reason why it's okay to leave these long tails. We're going to put them together. I'm going to use this tail first, like this. And now I'm going to sew a line right here that goes right along this way. Okay? Here we go. Okay, you can see that we have 2 sides together, this side and that side, and that's going to go, it's going to go like this. So you can see that we also still need to sew these 2 sides together. So that's going to be the next step, just to do the same thing, but on these 2 sides. Okay? Okay, when you get to the very end of that row, it's okay to go over just a little bit here. That way none of this plastic canvas shows later. So I usually do that by just coming back to this one and pulling it over just a little bit so that it overlaps. So now that we've done that, we're going to weave these ends in as we go down this way, or we could weave them back inside, which I'll probably do that because they are going to be a different color. We'll weave in this end, and then we're going to go red along here. So I'm going to go ahead and weave in the ends, and I do that just by putting it on the inside and pushing it through some of the threads that are on the inside. That's a little hard to do, but it can be done. Whoops, let's try that one more time. And then it'll come through inside. You'll see. When you open it up, you can see that it's inside. And so you just kind of pull it through, open up again, and pull it through. Threads going through it at once. Yep. And then once you do pull it through, you can just go ahead and cut that off. We'll do the same thing with this guy. Here's what you have. This is going to stick up a little bit, but you know what? That can be the bottom too, if you want it to be. The other thing too is it's going to be covered by red in just a minute. Now we're going to take the red and we're going to go through just like this and like this. So go ahead and do that. I'll meet you back. Here's an important note. When you take your red thread, don't go through both of these because you're going to sew its mouth closed. Just go through one, then come back and go through the other. Okay? So we're going to get started. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this this string through that we're going to put the tag on. And so the way I do it is I put the two strings in with the loop on the other side, and then I pull it through. And then, you see how it leaves a little loop here? We're going to pull this through, like so. And then when we put our tag on, we're just going to put these through it, and then we'll make a little knot at the end. Okay. I'm going to put it through this end. And now we're going to secure them together this way. That makes a lot better sense. So now you have squeeze my cheeks and I'll give you a kiss. On the other side says Merry Christmas. And that's it. Now when you put the kiss in it, you're done. And that the kiss, the little piece comes out at the end like this, and that's what makes the tongue. Okay.